Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. We are going to proceed on the painting of the house finch. And what I've done is we darkened the feathers in here and we darkened the tail more. Okay. And remember, we only did like one coat or a very light coat of the burnt umber. Or I should say the raw umber. Either one would work. And that is where we want to get to. Now, what I want to do is we're going to highlight these feathers, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to use titanium white, and we will start outlining these feathers with a white edge, and I'll show you how to do that. So bear with me a second, and I'll show you how we proceed on. I'm going to bring the camera down now. Thank you. Okay, we're back again, and what I want to do is I'm going to use the titanium white. I put a little bit in a cup, and I'm talking about maybe a half a pea and about maybe a third of the cup of water. Mix it really good, and it's on the creamy side. Okay, and then I want you to take the excess off the brush. And if you noticed, I got a brush that really holds a real good point, and you're going to need something like that just to be able to maintain the edge, okay? And what I'm going to also do is I'm going to put a little water in the next cup because I don't want this to be white, but I do want to control what we're doing here. And what I'm going to do is the first, let's say this, we have this grouping right in here. It's the first ones off of these smaller ones. It's right in here. I hope you can see that okay. And I'm going to try to come in and we're going to edge it with white. So I got the brush charged up and I'm going to come in, and what you got to do is make sure you see all the feathering. I'll start down here, and this is a sort of the widest swath. I'm doing the back end of the feather, and I'm sort of circling just the back end like that. Then I'm going to go and do the next one. And I'm going to charge my brush up again, take the excess off. Notice it goes right into a point, and I need that. I need a very pointy brush to be able to control what we're doing here. So it's like a big loop. Then I do the next one. See how far I can get with the paint on this. Like so. And then charge my brush up again. I'm going to do the next one up. And this is where that ghosting we have that would show through. You want to be able to see the feathers. So it's all in the technique of how well you did the burning and stuff like that, so that you could define what feather is what. Okay, so the first ones here are a little weak, so I'm going to come back and touch that up and touch that one up. Okay, touch this one up. Now these will lighten up a little bit, but just want to show you on that end of it. Now on the next grouping down, we are going to outline just the outer edge. So I'm going to come in here. Hope you can see this well. And I'm going to try to stay on the feather. It's a little difficult if you have another brush and you get some, like I did here, into the next feather. I'll just go in there, and then I want to dry that, because if I'm going to come in with paint again on the next feather down, I don't want that to be real watery. Okay, so I'm just going to do the outer edge, and I did it again. So you can see, I don't know how well you can see that, but for some odd reason, I'm going to skip that feather and let it dry, and I'll go to the next one. And it's this edge right here coming around. And if you notice, we have some dark spots in there because in the last video, we darkened that area. Now, if the paint doesn't come on real bright, like it does sometime, we'll go back and give it a second coat. So don't worry about that. As long as we get it started and we keep it in control like that. This is much thinner than the ones up front. And we'll see how they turn out too, because when they dry, not getting much paint off of that. When they dry a little lighter, which is good too, because some I want bright and some I don't. Okay, so I'll come back on this one, see if I can't get this one just right now. Now that's the edging I'm going to try to do on most of the feathers, and it's not real way out there, you know, it's just on the edges. I'm going to come in here. Charge the brush up again, and then I'm going to come to the second one. And the trick a lot of times is the consistency of the paint. If you don't have it right, I'm going to go back on this one. This seemed real watery. I'm going like this. Boy, not being steady today. That's for sure. So you can clean things up by just coming in with a clean brush and then come back. And I'm just going to hit the edges. And if it does get carried away where you make a mistake and the white gets a little out of control, you can always go back and use the raw umber to paint in the dark area again and start over again. So there's not a problem if you get too much white in one area. I'm trying to do this right on the edge of each feather here. And this is where your patience comes in. And if you have a fine brush with a nice point, you just can't go in there with any brush that won't hold a point. So you can see coming down on this. And then this is a short one right here. So I see this is a little light right here for this first coat, so I'll come back and hit it. Now look, I'm going to do a second one, and I'm going to just try to highlight a couple of these. This I didn't get all the way up to the top, so I'll come down like so. This one here, a little light over here. come down here, come down here, down here. And you see how that front row, it went into like a gray. So that one we want to punch up more because that does stand out. So for what we've done so far, I'm going to come in here and I'll do this one again. I'm going to come in here, but I'm going to do on the second coat right in here, I'm going to just do the outer edge. Just the outer edge. And it looks like it's fading as it goes in. So you're not doing the whole thing. You're doing about half of what you did of the white before. Okay. Just half. See? And notice I got my hands resting on here too. You got to have a steadiness to do this. So bear with me on that. And I noticed down here, this didn't take real well, so we'll get that. We got some other ones down here too. There's a couple of those smaller groupings that we had down below there. Okay, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the tail feathers the same way. I'm going to come in. I'm sorry, not the tail feathers, the wing. Okay, so I'm going to come around and I'm doing that. Then I'm coming in here, run it right down there, turn right here. Hope you can all see this. And then we do another one right below that. Turns right in there. There's another one below that. And it's, like I said, it takes some patience to get all this in. And it's difficult. I'm not doing the best job I could do too, and I apologize, but we'll get it. Now, I messed up right in here, so I wet my brush, get all the paint out of it, and then what I'm going to do is come back and wet that area. Now watch. In case you make a mistake, you can just blot it out, just like that. Just with a little bit of water. Now I'll come back, charge up my brush again, come in, and I'm going to see if I can do that feather right there. And you'll see me highlighting that. Then I'll do the next one, which is this one down here. So if you goof up, don't worry about it. Just wet your brush, get all the paint out, and then blot it out after you wet the area with the wet brush, and that should take care of it. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to do this on the other side, but like I did on this one, I'm going to see how bright it gets, and if it's not doing it for me, then what I'll do is I'll go back again and get it a little brighter. And I'm going to do that before I let you go on this, because whatever we're doing on this side, I want you to do on that side. And it's the same way with the tail feathers. The tail feathers are getting everything on the edge here, okay, all the way around. And I'll do a little bit, but I'm going to come back here and I'm going to brighten these up. I'm doing the last back end of about a third of the white I'm doing again, just so these stand out more. And if need be, we'll come back later and highlight them again if we have to. Okay, it all depends on the mix and how white your mix is. Okay, see some of it down here is really fading, so I'll come back and I'll hit it again. And sometimes you have to charge up your brush again. You just don't want to get too much water. It's almost like a creamy mix, and it's really ideal to get a real pointy feather. And then on these, you're doing the same thing. You're coming down here, right on the edge, walk it all the way down, and you're doing all of these edges. I am not steady today. Wet my brush. I just globbed that all on there, so I'm gonna go in like that, wet it, then take it out. And I may take some of the white out from the feather before that, and I'll do it over again. So here we go. I'm gonna go in here, touch a little bit up there. Now I'm gonna go back in on this feather and see if I'm a little more steadier. Like so. Then I'll do this one. You almost got to get that brush running with the paint the way you want it, and it'll flow pretty good. But this is the general gist of it, and you may want to do this about 2 times on the white, on all of it, okay, except for these guys up here. You may want to hit that. Remember I said do the outer edge and then do it again. This is after you do it the first time. All the rest of these you could give it like a second coat, but you notice that I don't want a real strong white sticking out, okay? And if need be, we'll come back in and put some of the raw sienna, raw umber, I'll get it right, which is this guy here. If you ever have to get at the recoup, you can come back in and just try to get between the white, the dark in the area. So if you get really crazy on the white, you can go in and recoup some of the brown back. Okay, so that's how you do it. I want you to do that on the other side, and I'll catch you on the next video, and I'll show you exactly how it should look. And I hope you've gotten something out of it. If you did, wish you would give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. Like I said, it's a little tedious on the painting of this, but I'll give you a look-see of what one of them that's almost done here, and you could see how that comes out. But we've got another wash to tone this down too, which I'm not telling you until the next video, okay? So you can see if the white will stand out on this side and somewhat, but it fades, and we will help to fade it too, believe it or not. So bear with me, and I hope to see you on the next video, and I hope you got something out of this again. So it's Frank Rauscher signing off, and see you on the next video. Bye now.